It's not perfect. It's farther away. It really doesn't work in, but man, I'm just so afraid that I'm never going to get another opportunity again.
Structure was over half of what's holding people back. 55% said, I don't have the entity or the plan in place.
It's what I call buyer fatigue, right? There's just nothing out there. You want to buy something, right?
Wade, you have a structure. You have the little like pieces of the train following your engine there. You're the conductor. What are those pieces that you put together? Is there an order? Is there a strategy? Is it all depends, like we agronomists say? It depends.
Yeah. Like everything, it starts with the conversation, Dan, and that's where our 4Ds comes into play. Our define, our discover, our design, and our deliver program. And really the define part of that is just sitting down at the kitchen table, on the phone, whatever the case may be, and saying, what are your thoughts? What are your ambitions? What do you want to do? Do you want 5 more quarters? Do you want 50 more quarters? Do you want them locally? Do you want them at a distance? Do you want a satellite farm? Have you thought of how the financing part of that's going to work, and how the equipment part of that's going to work, and how the labor part of that's going to work, and how the management part of that's going to work? So the logistics of all that stuff, to sit down and have that discussion, and then move on to the full discovery part of putting all those pieces together, getting all that information compiled, and say, okay, we've got what you need, what you've given us. Now we'll draw up your blueprint, and draw their blueprint up and say, here's your plan. And maybe it's a 1-year plan, maybe it's a 10-year plan. But nobody's done that. Nobody's sat down and developed that plan. We can do that, and we can do it well.
Am I able to jump around on these 4Ds, or is it one of those things like you gotta start at the beginning?
No, we've learned that just through doing it, right? And sometimes you jump into discovery right away, and then there's a lot of what ifs, and then we go back to define. Okay, well, let's define. We've got a lot of information here, exactly what it is you want to do, right? And then go to design, where we're strategizing, right? Okay, like here's the possible outcomes. We got 3 different options for you, right? The advantages, disadvantages, recommendations, that sort of thing. So what we found is there are 4 phases, but we do tend to jump back and forth between them.
Interesting. I thought it'd be very linear, but need to know that flexibility. I'm curious, positioning for the audience. Have you had a conversation with your lender, your accountant, and your lawyer together before a deal in the last 2 years? Would love it if you would contribute for the conversation here. Tim, you were saying that it's been 9-to-1 buyers to sellers. Is that changing? Is there more opportunity?
There's more land, marginally more land coming to the market, and people aren't as hungry or as aggressive, I think, as what they were 3, 4, 5 years ago, right? So I see a little more supply coming, and I see demand. Demand is still there, but it's very specific. It is becoming actually more strategic, just because values are so high. If you're gonna do this, you want to make sure that it's right. So I think it is shifting kind of naturally. I'm not going to say it is totally transition, because we're still short supply. There's still more demand than there is supply overall.
There's been a shakeup, though, in the industry, and a changing of tone. And I would say some concerns raised with what's happening with the largest farms on the scene. They're very public, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of, we've seen it with Robert. Has been very public about, hey, a lot of folks are now in this position where it's not necessarily an exit, but it's a repositioning for them that we never saw 2 years. Like I don't think anybody was doing that in 22.
Yeah.
When we were making shooting out the lights and making $500 an acre or $1,000 an acre, doing your daddy style of wheat canola.
Yeah.
Wade, what is the most expensive mistake a buyer can make in the first 30 days after the phone rings?
Buying something that really doesn't fit their operation.
Oh,
They've
really?
just spent 500 they've just spent 500,000 to $1 million on a quarter of land that they shouldn't have bought. And now when the right one does show up, maybe they can still buy it, but maybe they can't. That's part of it. But there's also the part that not only did you buy one you maybe shouldn't have bought, but it also drags the rest of your operation down. So that's where the strategy comes in. And I've had that discussion many times with clients when they say, well, I want to make an offer on these 3 quarters. And I'm like, okay, but why? Like, they don't fit your operation. And one client in particular, it was going to drag his overall soil quality down. And I'm like, you're planning to sell in the next 3 to 5 years. These 3 quarters are actually going to work against you, not for you. And he got that. And after he thought about it for a few days, and he didn't make an offer on them. So there was an example where we had a client who actually said, okay, I understand that. And, thanks for explaining it. And he passed by on them, and rightfully so.